Welcome to Backseat Confessions Podcast. Slide into the backseat as we listen to mostly anonymous strangers tell us stories from their lives. I'm a rideshare driver in Atlanta, and the people getting in my car have absolutely no idea I'm going to ask them to share. My commitment to you is to tell at least a snippet of virtually every story recorded in my car in the order they were told to me. My hope is that you laugh, cringe, cry, but mostly connect to these amazing people. You may find a piece of your own story, or just feel more connected to the rest of us. Join us, won't you? So, hey, my new friend. This is an adult podcast. Themes and languages are definitely not suitable for everyone. Listener discretion is advised. Well, I hope you will enjoy episode 4 as much as I do. This one starts with an inspirational story, and then the next 3 are about struggle with some funny moments mixed in. And we end with a pretty crazy story. My guess is this episode will stir up more conversation, potentially, than the first 3 episodes, and I'm okay with that. So, let's get rolling. Our first story today starts with an artist that is grateful for what his craft has given him and is literally processing in real time with us this dream in his head of giving back to young people. Kinda cool that he says that this was the first time he'd really shared his dream with the world. I suddenly feel like dancing.
Story number 16. Monday, November 2nd, 2020, 11:10 p.m.
Well, I have this dream, right? So I grew up as an artist.
Okay.
Training in dance specifically.
Love it.
And I went on to have a really successful career as a dancer.
Wow.
And then I moved to the Midwest to give back to a community there, and it actually inspired me to continue to learn and to grow and to develop as an artist. And so I went back to school and got a master's degree in dance and choreography, and then continued to grow and develop as a teacher, as a creative, as an mentor and educator. And so I'm at this point in my career where I feel like I want to start to develop something. And that's this is the first time that I actually am saying this on this kind of a platform.
Right.
But I live in a community where there's a lot of support for the arts, and there's a lot of great talented young artists who are also equally brilliant academics.
Okay.
And so I really would love to develop some kind of either performing arts school or university or community arts center that focuses on pre-professional and diversion kind of dance training, and eventually like grow into like all other arts. Like I'd like to start it with just dance, because that's what I do.
Yeah.
And then bring on a team of other creatives in other genres, music, voice, theater, who are like really at the top of the field. And I mean, I really feel like there's something really special about artists who have had careers in their fields and then leave that to go and teach, and who are genuinely dedicated to educating kids and making them better. Because I feel like there are some educators who are in it for themselves, and
Right.
That's something that I've learned after crossing over, so to speak. And there's something really special about artists who want to give back in that way. So I want to team up with a bunch of artists who are willing to give back in that way, who can help the kids.
Wow.
So that's a dream of mine, is to create something like that.
Wow. Well, I totally bless that dream. That's amazing. I mean, that's...
I accept that.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Wow. Well, I hope and pray that your dream becomes reality and that you positively affect the lives of many, many young people.
I thank you.
Yeah, and what better way to do it than through teaching
and through the arts, and people become doctors and lawyers and engineers and epidemiologists and all of the above after training as artists. So,
wow,
I just want to impact the world.
I love it. Thank you so much for your story, my man.
Thank you.
Some of my favorite people are ones who have made it in a particular industry or achieved something special in their life, and their instinct is not to hoard their success or to just gloat and talk about how freaking great they are, but their heart is to figure out how to share their gift with the world around them in a way that lifts and helps and heals. Man, I can start getting a little misty-eyed just thinking about this. And I truly hope this amazing man is able to birth his dream into the world. Sir, we need more people like you. This next woman's story was a revelation to me on how this project could be so much more than just entertainment. Her story is one of deep longing, frustration, pain, depression, and also, somehow, hopeful. But what I learned was that by giving her space to share, I had unintentionally, of course, given her a gift. I don't know about you, but sometimes I feel like I do the most good when I'm kind of clueless and it's by accident.
Story number 17. Monday, November 2nd, 2020, 11:50 p.m.
Well, 2014, I think, was the most teachable moment for me.
Okay.
Because I turned 26 that year, and I was always told that I would never be able to have a child. So my mom used to bring me to all sorts of doctors, and they said that I would never be able to conceive. But 2014, I fell in love with this guy, and a month after meeting each other, I found out that I was pregnant.
Wow.
I was like, to me, it kind of revived me in a way where I felt like, okay, well, I'm finally living.
Yeah.
Because before, I never really lived. Life was whatever. I didn't care about anything, but then suddenly I had this extra heartbeat in me.
Wow.
I said, wow, I have to, in order for it to make it beat, when it comes to life, I want to make sure, I want to make it beat by a drum, like give it a good life, make sure that, she's never wanting anything. But come to find out, my body doesn't really respond to babies, so I can't really hold them. I can just, I'm not even, and that was 6 years ago. It's about to be 7.
Wow.
So now it's like, I'm just kind of living because that's what you have to do.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not really happy. I don't really care about life, but I know that I'm 32 and I have to make something of it because that's what you're supposed to do. But if I think I would have died a long time ago, but because the family that I have and the kind of like Jamaican roots that I have, it's like, you're a woman, so you have to be strong. They don't know what depression is. They don't know what anxiety is. They don't know what being sad is. It's just like you have to just work, sleep, work, and that's it. So I just feel like now, I carry that tragedy with me because I just think that, okay, well, you know what? It kind of revived me in a way where I'm still going because of the tragedy, because it's like maybe one day God will surprise me again and say, okay, well, I'll give you what you want, is a family. And the reason why I'm working so hard is because maybe somehow that if I work till my bones fall off, maybe He'll reward me by giving me a family. So that's and pretty much my story.
Wow. And how many, you have 2 jobs right now?
Yeah, I have 2 jobs, and I start my 3rd one as soon as my fingerprinting come back.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I just work because I feel like that's the only thing that makes me a human. I feel like maybe somewhere, somehow because I really don't care for the money.
Yeah.
I want to live because I want to get things that I want and not have to ask anybody for it. But I mean, if it was up to me, I wish I could just disappear. And if it was me, I want to just disappear and just run away, and just all the people that know me, I want them to forget about me. I just want to just disappear into like some island and just be a beach bum. But I would never do that, because I'm just hoping one day, like, I literally beg God every day to just like, let me have a family.
Wow.
Because that's the only thing that I want. Like, I don't care for, I know I have to live as far as like housing. I know I have to get a house.
Yeah.
I know I have to, be able to, when I bring a child into this world, make sure that I can sufficiently take care of that child. Because, but one thing I know that I'm going to give that child is love, and not take that love for granted. It's just, I wish me getting a family was so easy, but I see all these people out here, and they, you could kiss somebody and they get pregnant.
Right.
Like my sister.
Yeah.
She's on her 4th child right now. And it's like, wow. It sucks because we came from the same mother and only one uterus works.
Wow.
But, And
I'm sure you've thought of everything, and it's such a complicated, not being able to have a child is so complex. But have you thought about adoption? Because you seem like you'd just be an incredible mother.
Yes, I've thought about it all the time, and that's one of the reasons why I want to get a house.
Okay.
Is because I want to be able to, provide for the child.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I've always thought about adopting.
Yeah, because and I've never adopted. I don't think I would have the patience or the right. But the people that do, I think they're saints. I think people like yourself who are thinking about adopting, and those people that I know that did, to me, they're some of the most amazing humans on the planet. And I think, you have a strong family around you. You're obviously an amazing, hardworking woman with so much love to give. So
Thanks.
I can totally see you'll have a family one way or the other. I just believe that for you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
This is so refreshing, because I had a lot of things that was balled up that that I've always wanted to get out, and I try not to talk about like the tragedy with anyone, but it weighs down on me every single day.
Why do you not want to talk about it? Why do you not talk about it?
I just feel like it's it's redundant, and I just feel like I don't want to come off as this sad sap person, but since I want to be honest,
yeah,
and I've always been jealous of my sister. Because she's able to have a family.
Yeah.
And it kind of sucks because me and my family we're really not talking right now. So
Okay.
so I just feel like I've always said, if I ever have a family, it's like I feel like I'll get $1 million because I just feel like I'm running a rat race.
Yeah.
I'm running, a rat race that's just keeps spinning and spinning and spinning. But life is something else.
It is. Well, I hope that you do get the house and that you do get the family, but that you also get to live with the understanding that you're enough.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you're amazing, not because of the things you do or how well you perform, but you're just amazing because that's how you were created.
Thank you. That's the nicest thing I've heard in a long time.
Well, it's true. You're going to be an incredible mom.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, and thank you for sharing your story with me.
Of course. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to do this.
Oh man, my pleasure.
Sometimes, God introduces you to some people not by mistake.
Yeah.
So it made me feel better because now I could probably go to bed with some type of peace.
Wow. That's amazing. Thank you for that, because that makes me feel good about doing this, because this is like a passion of mine. But sometimes you're like, why am I doing this exactly, other than I just like to hear people's stories? But then you get this and I'm like, oh, okay. Every once in a while, maybe it's bigger than just hearing an amazing story.
Yeah, because a lot of times people have a lot to say, but they don't know how to express themselves.
Sometimes we just need to hear that we are worthy, not for what we do, but because we are beautifully created beings, however imperfect we are. For everyone who has ever struggled to have children and struggled with interfamily relationships, I think your story is just so relatable. Joy, I hope you find what you're looking for, my friend. Have you ever had the dream that you woke up naked while out in public? You start freaking out because, well, you're naked out in public and you didn't intend on that. Unless you're in a nudist colony, and then that isn't a nightmare, it's just your everyday life. But I digress. This lady ends up being a bit more exposed than she'd planned for.
Story number 18. Tuesday, November 3rd, 2020, 12:20 a.m.
Okay, so this summer I went out of town with my friends. We went to the beach.
Okay.
And we in the beach and all, but see, I knew that my wig wasn't glued on.
Okay.
So my plan was to just go, right there at the shore where the water's not too deep.
Right.
But my friend was like, "Come on, this our first time being together. This our first time going out of town together. So come out deep with me." And I did, and the wave came and took my whole wig in the ocean. Like, it was just gone. It was over with. I tried to grab it. I was telling the strangers, grab my wig. They were just looking at me like, I ain't have on no wig, no nothing, out in the ocean.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that's probably was the craziest moment I had this year, though.
I love it. Well, it sounds like that's about right for 2020, right?
Yeah.
2020. I wish all that I had lost in 2020 was my toupee, but I think we can all relate to moments of public embarrassment when things just don't go as planned. At all. But at least she's laughing at it now. Okay, so have you ever had something offered to you that was truly just too good to be true? Like you were getting a life-altering offer, but then it just doesn't go the way you were picturing it? So this next writer has a friend who may not be the best choice of human to associate with. Oh, and on a completely unrelated note, I've been in touch recently with this Nigerian prince, and he seems like a really great guy. And he just wants to send me like millions of dollars. So just FYI, I'm gonna be stupid rich next time you see me, okay?
Story number 19. Tuesday, November 3rd, 2020, 1:31 a.m.
Okay, well, I guess it was the year 2016.
Okay.
I purchased a house to rent, to basically, start selling houses for, make money that way. So it was going pretty good. I rented out all the rooms.
Wow.
And while I was the reason I did this was so I could pursue music and still have an income.
Wow.
So it was working there for a little while, and then one of my friends comes to me and she says that her dad passed away, so she was going to give me $100,000. He was leaving her. Yeah, he left. He had all this money and I guess insurance and through his job, so she was supposed to receive $250,000 and she was going to give $100 to me. This was just a Wednesday. She just said this, so I'm freaking out. I call my mom like, yay, blah blah blah, and my mom can't believe it either. So then we start working on the process of getting the money. Like she had to go sign papers to get the money and the letterheads and everything. So we were supposed to get the money, I think it was maybe in like 28 days later. So 28 days later came, and nothing, we hadn't heard anything from him. So my mom called to check and make sure the money was still there. I called, we all called.
Yeah.
And they said just give him a little more time, the money would come. So the people that were living in my house, because I was receiving this money, I said that they were all going to have to move out because I was going to turn it into a studio. I said that but for the inconvenience, the next 2 months would be free. Meaning they could stay there, you get what I'm saying, for 2 months for free, because I'm getting a new home. So everyone's excited about that, of course. So it came down to maybe 3 days before move out, and my mom came because we had to go to Chase Bank to get the money for the check. So we arrive at Chase, and then she had some issues. We didn't know really what was wrong, but comes to find out, my mom called the State Farm Insurance to just finally, this is after maybe 75 days of like waiting, and I canceled my lease. I told my landlord I would pay it completely off, and the lady on the phone says that all the letterheads and things that were sent to us, my friend had made them. So at this time, now we find out that she actually received the money 2 years prior. Her dad had died 2 years prior, and she had already spent the $250,000. So in the meantime, I canceled my lease, as I told you. I gave people 2 months rent free, started a whole new life that was all just make believe.
Oh, Jay.
Yes, I really couldn't believe it. And then when I asked her about it, she was like, she didn't know. She just acted like as if she didn't know what was going on, but obviously she had to. So I was like, oh my God, this girl is crazy. So you would think I would stop messing with her. You know what I'm saying? Because I figured, like, in a weird way, I knew she would probably want to do that for me. Yeah. But that's, when it comes to people's life, you do not play about stuff like that. So I didn't speak to her for, I think, a whole year. Right. Then I came in contact with her again. She called me at 7 a.m. in the morning, and she said, hey, can your friend give me a ride to LJ, Georgia? And I said, where is LJ, Georgia? She's like, it's far, but I'll give him $7,000. She sent me the picture because her dad was in the military. He accumulated a good deed of money. So I'm like, why would you give someone $7,000 for a ride? Yeah. She's like, I need a ride. No one will take me. And I said, what do you have up front? Because my friend said he'd do it, of course, like, jumping leap up. And I'm like, now listen, this is the same girl that said she's going to give me $100,000. He was like, man, she wouldn't lie. Okay, just ride with us. So I rode with him down there. Of course, I complained the entire time. Because I'm still kind of bitter, from what she did to me. Yep. And he's like, he eventually gets mad at me and is like, you're just down in the mood. She has the money. So she goes in the house, gets the money. She comes back out. We're headed back home. Yeah. Because she was going to get a check. So while she's walking out, I hear jingling. Like as if, change, you know what I'm saying? But a lot of it, you know? So, of course, we're driving home, and I'm like, how about you show Breon the money? You know what I'm saying? And Breon's like, you're being ridiculous. I know she has it. And he was like, just so she'll shut up, just show us the check. All of a sudden, the check is missing. She can't find it. So we pull over on the side of the road. My friend's like, okay, clear out the car. And I'm trying not to laugh because now I've already told you that she was playing games, and I said, I heard, why would someone that has that much money come out jingling? Yeah. I mean, she was jingling seriously. So he snaps, he goes back to her house. He basically tells her she doesn't, she needs to produce this check. Like, because he drove out there, I guess, not thinking of gas money back, not thinking the whole situation through.
Right.
So it came out that she had got $7.50, and she really just needed a ride down there to get a letter.
Oh,
a letter. So he was
God.
mad. He was mad. Okay, this is the last part. This is the worst part.
Okay.
The home I was renting, I got to stay in maybe 4 months after the situation, because the landlord kind of, he felt a little bad for me.
Yep.
So he allowed me to stay. So I am walking to go cash a check that I got for my taxes, finally.
Mm-hmm.
As I'm walking down the street, a car tries to hit me. Like, literally is trying to come onto the driveway to hit me. At first, I'm a little shocked, because I'm like, and then I turn around and I'm like, are you trying to hit me? And he says, no, I'm trying to hit her, meaning the girl that has done all this stuff to me, right? Someone is literally trying to hit her with a car. So I'm like, what? I turn around, she's gone. That fast from him trying to hit us, me turning around and saying something to him, she's obviously running away.
Yeah.
So then I walk up to him, I'm like, what's the problem? He's like, I'm gonna kill her. And I was like, what did she do? He said she told him she needed money for a work shirt or something. And he took her to Walmart, right? She got the money. She walked out the back of Walmart and never came back.
Ugh.
He said this happened 8 months ago.
Wow.
And he just happened to spot her, right? But what God's so good, because I said, I was like, you know what? If you can give me a ride to cash my check, I'll pay, your debt to her, and it'll be cleared up. So I had to go find her. She was hiding under my bed. I went back home. She was under the bed, scared to death. And I was like, get from under the bed, like, you're gonna ride with me. And I paid the man off or whatever, but
wow.
It's just that was just my experience of just a psycho girl. It's like so many situations you would think I would have learned, but like she is crazy.
She's crazy.
Crazy. Yeah.
So yeah, crazy bitch seems like a teeny weeny bit of an understatement, right? Makes you wonder what kind of childhood she had. Was she just spoiled beyond belief with no boundaries? Or was there abuse or what? Anyhow, I hope Miss J stays away from her, acquaintance, let's call her, because not even the Oscars need that much drama. So I have very little control over the last story in an episode because generally I'm trying to get 5 writer stories in, and I'm telling them in the order they were told to me, of course. But I'm always hoping that the last story will be memorable somehow, or have a punch of some kind. It just makes for good podcasting, and I want to take us out on a high. So yeah, this last story. Oh, wow. There's no good way to set this story up. Miss Sherry here has a, let's just say, she has a very adult profession. And I think even in her line of work, this gentleman stood out. So, anyone have a humiliation fetish out there? No judgment, just wondering.
Story number 20. Thursday, November 5th, 2020, 12:42 a.m.
Okay, so one time I was in Lakewood walking around, and I seen this guy, and I was keep walking, and he was keep driving around in circles. He rode past me like 3 times, and then he stopped. He asked what my name, and he was like, do you do fetish? And I told him, yes, I do fetish. And so we went to the room on Virginia Avenue, and when we got to the room, he told me what kind of fetish he like. He like when females shit on him.
Whoa.
And piss on him.
Wow.
But he really like when somebody shit on him and spits real harsh in his mouth.
Whoa.
Yeah. So what he did, he bent, he got on his knees, and I was on the bed or whatever. He wanted me to spit in his face 100 times, and it was hard.
Yeah.
It was real
That's
hard.
intense.
But I had did it or whatever, and he wanted me to do it 100 times, so I spit on his face 100 times.
Wow.
And after that, before that, he gave me my money though.
Right.
And then after that or whatever, he said, "Did I have to shit?" And I told him, "No, I do not have to shit." And that was really it. He took me back, and I never seen him again. I lost contact.
Wow. Had to spit it
He
100
was
times.
like-
You probably would run out of spit after like 20 times, right?
Well, no, at first I did because it would make me sick to my stomach, but then I had built up some more spit to spit in his face. So,
Wow.
yeah.
Yep. I tried to tell you. That's not an easy picture to get out of your head. Should spark some interesting conversation with other BCP listener friends of yours. Side note, you should be, of course, sharing this podcast with, your friends so you can have conversations like, what the heck just happened? But anyways, remember, the next time you want to complain about your job, there's Sherry here as Exhibit A. I mean, you may have a crappy job, but you're just spitting in the wind if you're going to try to tell me that it's tougher than hers. Okay, that was decidedly lame. But it's all that I could come up with on short notice. In all seriousness, I hope the rest of your week is closer to our first rider who shared his dreams of making the world a better place, and a little less like the other folks that shared their struggles. But remember, even if you're struggling, you can't lose if you're learning, and hopefully, you'll even get a great story out of it. This is what happens when you are a rideshare driver in Atlanta and ask people for their stories. These weren't handpicked people with great stories. They just happened to get in my car and be gracious enough to share with all of us. And who knows, maybe someday you'll be in Atlanta and need to grab a rideshare and end up telling the rest of us the next great story on BCP. I'd actually encourage you to, every so often, just ask a stranger to share a story from their life. You never know what you might learn. I believe that our stories are powerful. They can make you laugh, cringe, cry, or even get you to think or feel differently. Our stories can truly make this world a little bit better place. So please, subscribe, rate, and listen to this podcast and share it with as many adults as possible. It would mean so much to me. First and foremost, I want to thank the incredible writers who trusted me with your stories. You're my heroes. Thanks also to all the people in the background who have believed in this project/dream. All of the music on this podcast was found on pixabay.com, and it was free, which is an amazing gift when you're starting a podcast on a shoestring budget.